Hey guys, and welcome back to Morgan Taylor Racing. We are currently about 20 minutes away from Profab Performance, where we are bringing the parachute mount to them to start working on some more stuff. But this will be the first time that I've seen the car since we tore apart the inside of it in the garage and took it to them. So I'm super excited. I've gotten some pictures, and sorry to all of you who loved the interior, but it is it's pretty chopped up now. I think we're going almost full-blown race car, but we'll still keep it a street car. So stay tuned. I am going to apologize in advance for this next clip. I will be looking down a little bit at all of the notes that I wrote myself with what has transpired with the build over the last 3 months and what is going on. So thank you for tuning into Morgan Taylor Racing, and here's what y'all have been waiting for. So long story short, if you don't remember, we brought the car to Profab the week before Thanksgiving in November, and the plan was to do the overbuilt 850 cage, so adding in those extra bars to go 750 minus the, I call it halo, but the funny car bars for street driving purposes, and then the 2 door bars just because at this point they're not necessary. Just to clear things up really quick, so I realized in that last clip that I said that we weren't installing the door bars, but we have installed the 2 down bars that I'm sure you saw in the clips, but we are not installing the other 2 crossbars that come up towards the dash. That'll be done at a later time. I just figured ease of getting in and out of the car for street driving wasn't really a purpose for now. Basically, what we realized, like I said, never done this before and total learning experience, was that the mini tubs in a 3rd gen require the spring to be cut out. With that being said, I was planning on transporting the car back here to do a whole bolt-in suspension setup that I will get to here in a minute. We could put in temporary brackets to transport it, but it was just going to be more work at that point, and then everything kind of snowballed, and there was basically nothing that we could do if I did bring the car back here on my own. So we decided that we will cut out the stock fuel tank and build a custom cell in the back hatch and do a firewall. Doing this allows us to put the shock location inwards, so move them in towards the center of the car, and also add the wishbone in that I originally wanted to, making for easier access when doing any maintenance. We looked at the stock location of where the suspension would be going back in, and adding in with a mini tub and adding everything back in, it was going to be very, very, very small margins, almost so that like I was worried about even getting my hand up in there should we need to adjust anything or fix anything. From day one, I knew that I wanted the car to sit low and the wheels and tires to be tucked up underneath. So at this point, it was kind of a necessary adjustment to remove the fuel tank because it was just going to be in the way. There was no point in bringing the car back if there was nothing that we were doing at home. So now Profab is working on the rear housing and will be installing the Fab 9-inch rear end. That was an original plan all along. I just brought them the 15x12 wheels for mock-up thanks to my dad, and mounted the tires that Joe and Becky Cram had given us so that we can get a really good idea on basically exactly what I want to run. I will not be running those wheels or tires, but more information soon. I haven't made a set decision yet, but we're very, very close, and I'm excited to announce that shortly. I'm really excited to also have Menser Motorsports on board my program, and we'll have measurements over to Mark shortly on the shock, and we're doing coilovers in the back, so the shock measurements, and super excited for that. Once the rear is done, Profab will add in the rear cage bars, so the hatch bars kind of area. We haven't done that yet just because, you know, we're digging into it and still kind of measuring the mini tub cutouts haven't been welded in yet, just same thing. We wanted to make sure that those tires and wheel combination that I wanted to run were gonna fit under there. Obviously, the bigger the wheel, the better in drag racing. So as long as we could fit that 15 by 12, I was really going to do it. And it looks really good up underneath there so far, just from setting it next to it. Next on the list is to order the Racecraft K member and get to work on the front end components. That's another thing that we originally thought that we were going to do a bolt-in style, something that we could just do, but with using the Menser struts and, you know, like I said, everything else has just kind of really transformed into something that this is going to be a really well-built race car and not necessarily as much of a sportsman street car that I originally intended. So if I'm doing it to the back end, I just want to get to work and do it on the front as well. From there, we'll install the Motion Raceworks steering column I got. I'm super excited about that, and get fitted, and then cut, and I mean cut, the interior components that I am keeping to fit around the cage. So I am keeping the factory dash pad and factory dash. So a little nervous about it, but I mean, there wasn't really any, you know, any other components that we can put in there that were available for the 3rd gen. So it was easiest and most cost effective to just chop it up. I'm looking forward to the install time to put TBM brakes on the car once we take the car back home. So we are not installing the brakes at ProFab. We've decided that, you know, since TBM's so local to me, that we will actually do the install there. So really excited about that. I got to see my brakes the other day. I didn't get to take them home. Mike is keeping them under lock and key, but that's all right. They're beautiful and they're gonna look really good on the car, especially with the wheels that I think I'm doing, but like I said, haven't made a full decision yet. It is crazy how much things have changed, but I'm really confident now that we will have one well-built race car and not necessarily a street car. God forbid we take it to the track and then, you know, what we didn't overbuild would break. And that's my worst fear, is putting any money into the car and the build at this point. Is if I was gonna do it, I wanna do it right from the start. So yes, we will have a streetable race car at this point. And I will be sure to share more information as I have it. Obviously, I've been a little delayed in getting another video out, but I thank you guys for tuning into Morgan Taylor Racing, and I'm excited to share what comes next.